You just finished a super long match and physically and mentally you're completely drained. In case that you won, how do you get ready for the next match? And even if you lost, what do you have to do post-match to prevent injuries? Yeah, and the answer, I'm just gonna hop under the shower and I'll then have an adult beverage, that's not gonna cut it. You could have an entire entourage with you, like the pros, who basically spend as much time on recovery as they spend on preparation in the actual match. Mere mortals may not have access to some of the things that the pros can do, and or we don't want to afford them. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things that you can absolutely do, should absolutely do, regardless of your level. Oh, and those things come at no cost or very, very little cost. The first thing you do right after you're done playing is your active recovery. And you may have seen pros, for instance, on social media or something, after matches, they go and ride a bike, a stationary bike with super, super little resistance, super, super lightly. And actually now the tournaments have to provide stationary bikes as well as a weight room and all kinds of other things that when I played, they did not require. So if you have access to a stationary bike after the match, 10-20 minutes, super little resistance, that helps you to flush out the waste products of your cells. And if you don't have a stationary bike, you can just lightly jog. And we used to call that a piddle jog. I don't know why, but that's what we did. Here's how it goes. Fluids and nutrition. Drink up. You should have been drinking the entirety of the match anyways. And of course, an electrolyte drink helps as well. Keep replenishing those fluids, ideally within the first 30 minutes after you played your match or a super hard practice session. Same thing. You want to replenish nutrients, and a protein shake that's super easy to digest is, for instance, a really good choice. And you can drink that as you are jogging or you're on the bike. I'm not the biggest fan of the commercially available electrolyte drinks that start with a big G, for instance, or with a big P, because they're just sugar. So as a beverage, for instance, diluted coconut water is a great way to go. And just do some research where you actually get the electrolytes without all the added sugar. And it goes without saying that your nutrition in general should be nutrient dense, high in carbs, high in proteins, and high in those good fatty acids. So the hamburgers and fries and all that kind of stuff and the sodas are out. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we could afford a massage right after the match? Most of us can't, so let's go with stretching and foam rolling. And this might be the only expense, and I would urge you to actually invest in a foam roller. I have one that has these 2 little parts because I feel that with the foam roller, I can hit certain parts of my body, certain muscles that I don't really get with the stretching. And when you stretch, this time it's the static kind, because we want to really elongate the muscles. We want to prevent stiffness again, and also help flush out any waste products. Okay, now you can hit the shower, but you're still not done. Another huge piece is mental recovery. When I played, I trained 3-4 hours on court, about 2 hours off court, and I did that day after day after day at really high intensity. But I never felt as drained after those sessions, after those days, as after a long 3-hour match with lots of ups and downs, with the mental effort that I had to put in to regulate my emotions, to keep my focus for that long of a time. So your brain also needs some help to come down. Writing, and I mean with pen and paper, I really still like. So you have a couple of things that you could write down. One, you could just jot down notes from the match, really tactical, technical things that you noticed, things that you did well. Do note them, please. And also things that you want to work on. You can write down the play style of your opponent just in case you will see them again at some point. You'll play them again. Then you know how you want to start the match right off. And of course, that helps you then formulate plans for your practices. The other thing that you can do is just the emotional diarrhea, if you will. You just vomit it all out on paper, how you felt, what you thought, and that piece you can totally rip up after you're done. It's just for your eyes. Nobody has to read it. Don't care about grammar. Don't care about writing. It doesn't matter. Just get it all out on paper, throw it out, and you're done with the match. Breathing exercises. Mindfulness is a fantastic way to down-regulate your entire body. Now, the weird thing is we automatically jump into the competitive mode, and that comes with sometimes having to deal with the fight or flight syndrome, having to deal with emotions, all that. We're revving up our body to a super high level, but there is no automatic response of your body to come down. So for instance, mindfulness, just watching your breath, bringing your thoughts back down to your breath, paying attention to those things, that helps you downregulate everything. One more thing to do. Try to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. And I honestly think 7 hours is on the very, very low side, which I do understand. We all have lives. People have children, people have work, people have other demands on their time. But try to get as much sleep as possible. I believe it was Roger Federer who said he's trying to get between 10 and 11 hours of sleep while he's competing at a Grand Slam. And the reason for that is the main recovery in your body, hormone regulation and repair of cells, of muscles, all that kind of stuff actually takes place while you sleep. Now, if you're a parent and you're watching this and you have a competitive junior, add 2 hours onto that range, 9 to 11 hours. Because in addition to having to deal with all the stuff that happens post-match, a kid's body still has all that growing thing to do. 2 more things you can do, but I didn't necessarily include them in the title of this video because not everybody has access to a bathtub. And there's 2 ways how you can go about recovering in a bathtub. One is a lot more painful, I think. The other one is a lot more relaxing initially. Both have great, great benefits. The first is an ice bath. And if you've ever done that, it is difficult to get in there. All you have to do is 3 times about 2 minutes in water that's between 10 and 12 degrees Celsius, no lower than 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't have to be there any longer, any colder. It's not going to have benefits. But when you're doing that, it helps reduce inflammation. And that is what your entire body needs after you played a long match or had a really rough training session. The other I find a lot more, easier to do and more comfortable is a good old Epsom salt bath. Just soak in it, it's nice and warm. And that I actually used to do on a more regular basis, just 1 or 2 times a week after really, really tough practice sessions. But again, you do need to have a bathtub. Let me know down in the comments if you have a recovery routine after matches, and if you don't, which one of these tips you're going to give a try.